It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against the New Orleans Pelicans. Looking at the Pelicans, they're coming in off a win in their last game against Orlando. That game, a high-scoring affair. We'll see if this one turns into a shootout as well. Look at the numbers DeMarcus Cousins has put up the last few seasons. Just astounding. The scoring, the rebounding. How about the defense?
Live from New Orleans, 2K Sports proudly brings you NBA basketball from the home of the Pelicans. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. DA will join us tonight on the sideline. For the Timberwolves, this is the last game before heading back to Minnesota. They've definitely started the season right with a hot start.
You know, Kevin, you and I see it all the time. Teams going through those hot streaks and cold spells. And any team that can find its rhythm.
And with tip-off coming up.
Well, guys, you know, sometimes it can be a problem when you have as much talent as the Timberwolves do on their team. And it's a lot of offensive talent as well. So are there enough touches for everybody? Now, Karl Anthony Towns says yes. He says, no matter what, we are all going to eat. There is enough food on the table.
All right, D, not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. Clark, you've talked about this a lot, the changes, the biggest differences from playing college basketball to pro basketball.
Without question, Kevin, a couple of the biggest differences for me were the speed of the game and the quality of the players on the court. That was really something that I was aware of, but it hit me right between the eyes as I got going. And then the other thing was the travel and schedule. I hit a wall after about 60 games and was really a dead man walking for about 10 days before my legs came back and I finished that rookie season strong.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Wiggins at small forward with Gibson at the 4. Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. And it's Towns in at the 5. Teague drives in. A three-pointer. Wiggins. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Wiggins has got his second basket of the night.
Nice fluid motion off the catch there, Kevin. I mean, Wiggins becoming a dangerous jump shooter.
Here's Clark. Offensive rebound. And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession. Full 24-second shot clock. Rondo passes to Cousins. Back to Rondo. Screen by Cousins. Rondo kicks to Miller. He dishes it to Cousins. Shoots over Towns. And Cousins gets it to go.
And you know, it took them a while to get going, but they finally connected now on their fourth shot of the game.
Left side, Gibson. Back to Teague. Inside. A shot, no good. And New Orleans will go the other way with it. They come into this one having outplayed the Magic last game.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And you know, Greg, they were sinking shots left and right, and that's got to be demoralizing for the defense. They were in a real zone.
And it's Butler with the jam.
And Kevin, once Butler has some speed behind him, watch out. You know he's looking to throw that thing down.
Clark for 3. And Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed. You know, you're going to have success when you can start out shooting 80% from the game. So early offensively, they've been great. That's the way you like to start.
Pass to Davis. It's tipped from 12 feet out. Second shot opportunity. Chalk up 2 there.
And, you know, got to admire the patience inside from Davis. Outstanding at staying under control, taking his time, and burying the quality shot.
Towns dishes to Gibson. Butler in the corner. Off target from outside. Pelicans trail by 3. Miller with a wide open look. Good. And it's Rondo who picks up the assist. Miller's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Yeah, and Rondo just working the ball around there. He loves finding his teammates when they're open in the sweet spots.
Here's Gibson, and he banks in the layup.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Rondo kicks to Clark, and it's New Orleans scoring again. First quarter of action, just under 3.5 minutes played. Towns at the elbow, and the dunk by Towns.
Yeah, you know, not every point guard would be able to find an open man right there, but T is always looking for the right play.
Down low, Towns with the steal. Pass to Wiggins, and it's Wiggins with the jam.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
Here's Davis, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Taj Gibson picks one up. Straight from his one-and-done season at Kentucky, leading college basketball in block shots. We knew Anthony Davis could dominate defensively, but did you have any idea he'd be this good offensively?
None. I mean, with his length and athleticism, you knew he'd have an impact as a finisher. But the way his shooting has developed, it has been remarkable. Now, granted, this was a guy that at one point was recruited to play point guard coming out of high school, but he's playing more like a shooting guard with his skill set. Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
And the call will be against Jeff Teague. That's his first foul. New Orleans moving the ball around, and so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, the problem last year for the Timberwolves was their defense. Allowed way too many points in the paint. Fortunately, they've improved their defense down the stretch here.
Another issue with the Wolves and their defense was that they weren't a great rebounding team outside, of course, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and you know what? There weren't a lot of big issues with the Wolves defense, but the small issues added up and cumulatively were a problem. I think they've got to continue to build on becoming a solid defensive team.
The kick outside to Butler. No good on the 3. New Orleans is gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Clark off with the layup.
Looked like he rushed the layup to me. I mean, the defense was late on contesting that one.
And it's Towns penetrating. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. 6 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Rondo against T. Davis sets a screen. Rondo kicks to Davis. To the middle. Outside for Rondo. Clark for 3. Connects from 3-point range. Clark's got 5 points so far.
Rondo, a master at setting up teammates.
Towns, the pass to Teague. He kicks it to Jang. That one misses. Great D that time from Davis. Teague against Rondo. It's stolen by Teague for the finish, and it's slammed in by Teague.
And Teague is kind of sneaky with his vertical, guys. I wouldn't call it great, but it's certainly better than average, and he'll fly high on occasion to jam whenever he gets the chance.
Rondo kicks to Cousins. Here's the screen. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. That's his first foul.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
Yep, the next one puts them on the line, so they've got to be careful the rest of the way.
Drew Holiday is checked in for the Pelicans. Davis in the corner from deep. A rebound by the Timberwolves. They come in fresh off a win against the Heat.
And typically on the road, it's harder to get into a great rhythm offensively, but they did just that.
Yeah, and from the start, Greg, you could tell they were ready to go. Loved how fearless they were, confident, aggressive, attack mode. They don't care where the games are played. They're ready to get it done.
T kicks to Towns. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And that keeps him perfect from the field this quarter.
Screen by Cousins. Knocked away. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Butler. A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for the Timberwolves.
And even when the D3 has been there, they've stayed away from it. They're working hard to get shots from close range, resisting that urge to get too loose with their shot selection.
Miller with a screen on Towns. Cousins dishes to Miller. Pocket 6. Davis setting the pick for Rondo. New Orleans needs to get off a shot. Miller, that's for 2. Almost, but it rolls out. Minnesota leading by 3. Wiggins passes to Teague, and it goes down 2 points.
Staying alert and aware. Wiggins sees his man flash to an open spot. Pass is right on the money.
Davis setting the pick for Holiday. Goes up the baseline, and it's Davis missing.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
And Zhang kicks to T. Baseline try, and again Karl Anthony Towns. Now it's a 7-point Timberwolves lead.
This is the thing about Towns, folks. I mean, he can shoot over most anybody and doesn't seem bothered when under duress. Maintains his poise and composure and gets the shot he wants.
And their post play has been really solid right off the bat.
New Orleans making some changes here. Hill, he's checked in for Cousins. Allen comes in for Darius Miller. And Moore subbed in for Rajon Rondo. Minnesota also making some changes. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Wiggins. Crawford comes in for Butler. And Jones subbed in for Jeff Teague. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle sticks for Minnesota?
It looks like they're ready to run, fellas. I mean, they haven't hesitated at all to get out on the break so far.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
And I tell you what, the former NBA Rookie of the Year, Towns, continuing his rapid ascension as one of the league's best centers.
Here's Towns. He picked up 33 points in their last one against Miami.
Yeah, but the rebounding in that game as well was just tremendous. I mean, he dominated the backboard.
Outside, Jones. A second chance effort, and Towns lays it in. Towns has got 13 points.
Hey, scoring off misses, that's easy buckets. Something Towns has the length and tenacity to do on a regular basis.
Hill, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. Clark, when you look back at your terrific career, who is the one player that you considered your toughest opponent to go up against?
There were a couple of guys. Bernard King from the New York Knicks, because we saw them a handful of times a year, and he was just such a phenomenal scorer and a relentless worker offensively. He just never gave you a break. I didn't get to see the West Coast teams but twice a year. The Denver Nuggets in the early 80s had Kiki Vandeweghe, Alex English, and Dan Issel. And between those 3 guys, they were averaging about 80, 81 points a game. And I usually dealt with English or Vandeweghe. And those were long nights because those guys moved the ball, shot it from everywhere, and were excellent offensive players.
Here's Holiday. 9 points last game out. Ball's knocked loose. Hill dishes to Holiday. To the inside. And it's Davis missing.
He's been terrible. Absolutely awful. I mean, can't get it going. His shot isn't there right now. He's got to help him some other ways.
And Towns gets it to go. 15 points in the game.
Nice play inside. The refined footwork really separates Towns from most other young bigs.
And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Minnesota leading by 8. 1:57 left in the first quarter of the game. Holiday against Jones. They set the pick. Towns is doubled. Back to Jones. Just 5 to shoot. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. And now it's a double-digit lead. And it's a 10-point Minnesota lead.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
Dishes it to Davis. Outside Hill. Moore against Crawford. Moore passes to Davis. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Davis has got 11 points.
He has been fantastic this quarter, guys. It's just the kind of effort they need if they're going to continue to trim the lead.
Jang a screen. Jones kicks to Muhammad. Feeds it to Jang. Outside Jones. Crawford outside. Traps in the tray. Crawford's got his first 3 points of the game.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Clearly just an example of a different mindset between these teams.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Outside Jones. Jang a screen. And the pass to Muhammad. Jang inside. He's guarded by Hill. And Jang gets it to go.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Holiday against Jones. Holiday dishes to Allen. The feed now to Davis. Kick out to Moore. Teardrop shot, and that's 2 points on the layup.
Nice looking floater there, Kevin. Such a fast shot, a quick release. Really hard to guard that.
Oh, we've seen some great shots in the first quarter. No shortage of offense. Timberwolves lead by 9. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And guys, what's your take so far on the Timberwolves?
Playing smart in this first period. Credit their unselfish play.
Yeah, and you know, that cohesion is really impressive, Greg. I mean, they know how to get each other going and feed off of each other, and that's crucial.
Timberwolves leading by 9. Allen is out there with Hill. Then there's Jordan Crawford, and there's Davis, and it's Holiday in at the point guard position. So that's the group out there for New Orleans. Jang a screen. Muhammad the pass to Crawford. He got an advantage there off the pick and took it right in. Crawford's got the opening field goal of the second quarter for the Timberwolves. I just love what Muhammad can do, Clark, for a team coming off the bench. Always looks to attack the basket, and when he is locked in, can function as one of the better 6 men in the league.
Yeah, you know, for some guys, Kevin, being a rotational player off the bench is a hand-in-glove fit. And I think Muhammad falls into that category. I mean, you can give him a start if you needed to. He's not the best defender, but you love what he brings on offense, particularly if he's coming off the bench.
Shot clock at 6. Crawford kicks to Jones. Gibson dishes to Jang, and they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation.
And let's take a quick look now at some stats here for Holiday. Good season for him last year. 8th in assists, and he was also among the top 20 in steals. That ability is more unique than folks realize. Very valuable defensively.
And his floor awareness was impeccable last season. As you mentioned, top 10 in assists. Just does a great job of getting everyone involved. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Pelicans do have their challenges, but Anthony Davis remains committed to winning in New Orleans. He said, "I love it here. I don't plan on leaving. Yes, I fit into that old school category where I want to try to win where I start my career. That's always been a goal of mine. My goal is to bring a championship here." Kevin?
And David, loyalty does go a long way. Davis is a perfect guy to build your team around. He wants to win. Hill passes to Crawford. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse.
And the combination of his quickness and soft touch around the rim really allows him to pull off shots like that. A lot of players don't have the reverse in their arsenal.
Gibson the screen. Jones kicks to Muhammad. The dish to Gibson. In the corner, it's Crawford. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Muhammad, no luck.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
And Holiday kicks to Hill. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. Taj Gibson picks one up. Clark, if you were coaching a team, you had one shot to win a game on the line, which player in the league would you want to take that shot?
I like a lot of guys for last shot circumstances. LeBron James is always on my list. Kyrie Irving is at the top of my list. Damian Lillard is a killer. Isaiah Thomas, the little big man, is phenomenal in those kind of late game situations. But I think I'm going to tip my hat to Kyrie Irving. Uncle Drew is my guy.
Jones kicks to Muhammad. The Timberwolves need to get a shot off here. Chang, no luck. Pelicans trail by 8. And here we go with Allen running it up the court. And Jones sends it back. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And how about breaking out the Statue of Liberty on that dunk?
A nice way to pad that lead a little more. You're right.
Yes, indeedy. Well done.
And first time out of the game called for New Orleans.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, they're getting crushed, killed, hammered, pulverized in the post.
Clark's checked in for Drew Holiday. Minnesota also making some changes. Wiggins is checked in for Shabazz Muhammad. Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And it's Teague in for Jones. Pelicans trail by 10. Crawford outside. Passes it to Cousins. Over Jang. No good from Cousins. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 on three-pointers here in the second quarter so far. With the shot. And Jang gets it to go. Jang's got the lead up to 12 now for the Timberwolves.
Kevin, that's high percentage distance for Jang there, and doing it with a hand in his face.
For New Orleans, they've gone 2 of 5 from the field here in the second quarter, shooting 40%. Crawford dishes to Cousins. Allen with it. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Hill against Gibson. Outside Butler. Kicks it to Jang. He feeds it to T. Fires from 18. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Jang's got his third bucket of the night.
And, you know, Kevin, Gorgie Jang gets his shot from the mid-range just about any time he wants, and the percentages show. He's pretty effective with it.
Crawford kicks to Clark. Bangs home the trifecta. Clark's got 8 points.
Defender there in the neighborhood, but not quite close enough. Good shot.
T kicks to Butler. He dishes it to Wiggins. The kick out to T. Pass to Gibson. There's the pick. Nice D from Cousins.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
Clearly a frustrating missed opportunity there. Perfect screen. Got him the space he needed, but he bricked it.
Outside Butler. Left side Gibson. The shot that time, not on target. And New Orleans will go the other way with it. This is their first chance this season playing the Timberwolves.
And they swept the season series against them last year. They really did have the upper hand.
And I think that's where it starts, guys. Neither team a playoff factor, but you work your way up the ladder team by team. And this is really one matchup they feel very confident with.
Crawford outside. Allen left side. Lets it go with a three. That doesn't go either for Allen.
And the stroke definitely lacking confidence this quarter. Nothing.
Oh! Yes, sir.
That was incredible.
Oh, man. Boy, I tell you what, that 7-foot condor-like wingspan of Wiggins helps him get to the miss and convert it into points.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans. Clark, as an analyst, do you feel you view the game drastically different from when you were in your playing days in college and the NBA?
Yeah, you know what, Kevin, I really do, because I've benefited from the different coaches we've had a chance to visit with over the years, and that's added to my perspective. And you tend to look at things differently when you're playing. I was always a student of the game, but clearly I think I've become a lot more analytical as an analyst, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Some changes for New Orleans. Miller's checked in for Allen. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Jordan Crawford. Pelicans trail by 12. Rondo passes to Cousins. Good. And it's Rondo who picks up the assist. Rondo's got his 4th assist in this one. For Minnesota, they've gotten 7 of their 12 field goal attempts to drop here in the second quarter, up over 50%. And finished off by Jang.
Yeah, there, Kevin, finishing like he did it on purpose. Jang can get nasty at the point of attack.
New Orleans has gone 2 of 3 when they've stepped beyond the arc in the second quarter. Rondo kicks to Cousins. Pass to Clark. Cousins with a screen on Butler. Here's Clark, and Butler sends it back.
No denying it. Butler, a superb defender. Really does a nice job using his length to turn shots away.
New Orleans gone 4 of 8 tonight from three-point land, shooting 50% on the 3-ball here. And that's out of bounds. New Orleans will retain possession.
And here we get a chance to check out the story on Jimmy Butler. He's coming off an excellent season. 5th in steals, 14th in scoring, and he'd make you pay every time he went to the line. Top 20 in free throw percentage.
And as you pointed out, he was top 5 in steals last season. Just a lethal combination of great physical ability and acute mental preparation. The Pelicans making a switch here. Moore's checked in. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Towns, he's checked in for Gorgie Dang. Butler dishes to Gibson. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Taj Gibson is a solid role player, really one of the best we have. A good rebounder and defender with a soft touch from the mid-range and can score without having plays called for him.
Thinking back to the great Warrior team from last year, Clark, how do you place them in a historical context for what they accomplished?
Well, they're on a short list of one of the great teams of all time in terms of winning a championship and what they did throughout the season to do so. You'd have to consider them as one of the outstanding teams in the history of the NBA.
Towns against Davis. Wiggins, and that one good. Wiggins has got 11 points.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Screen by Cousins. Miller sets a screen for Rondo. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, you see the great reach as well as the relentless pursuit shown by Towns. He's simply saying, not here, not now, not in my house.
Wiggins against Miller. 6 to shoot. Teague for 3. Miller grabs the miss. Pelicans trail by 15. And it's Rondo in the corner. Rondo with another miss. Minnesota's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Now here's Teague. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Heat in Miami. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Towns kicks to Gibson over Davis. He hits the back iron and sinks the shot. 11 points for Taj Gibson.
And now he's taken a solid opening in the quarter and built on it here in the second.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans.
You know, watching Towns play, you always hope to catch him on a night where he's in attack mode, being aggressive. He's, I think, most dangerous when he's aggressive on offense and attacking the basket. At times he can settle for the perimeter shot a little much, but he's got so much to offer in his offensive game that I just like watching him play, period.
Here's the list of players who had the most steals in the NBA last season. 5th, Jimmy Butler.
He showed such tremendous defensive instincts. Trust me, nobody wanted him guarding them last year.
Pelicans trail by 17. And Clark, to the point about Towns settling for outside shots, last season it was something that he self-corrected. After the halfway point of the season, he took less threes and it drastically improved his output.
Well, quite honestly, Kevin, the bulk of his points should come from near the rim, but he does need to take some of those perimeter shots to keep the defense honest and a little off balance. And I think he's really unstoppable, though, when he gets going to the hoop.
Rondo against Teague. 6 to shoot. Here's Towns. And there's the big-time jam as he slams it right over Cousins.
Towns with the creativity and explosiveness.
That was a terrific replay brought to you by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Rondo passes to Cousins. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Cousins has got 4 this quarter.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Towns is doubled to the inside. Gibson against Cousins. Gibson dishes to Towns over Davis, and Davis sends it back.
Boy, I tell you what, Davis uses his length so well. I mean, a defensive stalwart who holds his ground, and because of his timing and length and athleticism, he's an excellent shot blocker.
Gibson the screen. Teague kicks to Butler. Dishes it to Towns. Towns is doubled. It's stolen by Davis. And now the Pelicans on the break. Here's Rondo. Left side Davis over Gibson. Count that one, and the Minnesota lead has been cut down now to just 11 on the bucket from Anthony Davis. Oh, no, he may have gotten injured right there. He's in a lot of pain.
Well, I mean, you really feel for him. I mean, and the entire team. Just, you got to hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. I mean, of course, this is why you build out your depth as best you can. I mean, you just never know when injuries might show up.
Drew Holiday, he's checked in for Anthony Davis. And then Cousins with the dunk.
Yeah, and the long reach of Cousins really enables him to hammer home some skyscraping jam.
Jones kicks to Towns. Kicks it out to Crawford. And Gibson now atop the key. Back to Crawford. Here's the three. And Gibson kicks to Towns. Towns is doubled. It's Crawford on the wing. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. That's 7 points for Jamal Crawford.
And they've been working hard on the offensive glass here in the second, and it's paying dividends. They're getting a lot of second chance points.
Knocked loose. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. He kicks to Towns. 5 on the clock. Lets it go from deep. The shot misses. That'll do it for the first half. Timberwolves ahead, up 11. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Alvin Gentry. Coach, what have you liked so far from your team, and what have you not liked?
Well, I like the pace of the game. Defensively, I don't like anything that we're doing as far as dribble penetration. Too many things are happening in the lane. We got to protect the basket a little better.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Back to you.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
And now, the 2K Sports
The first half in the
halftime
books.
show.
This is Ernie Johnson. This is Shaquille O'Neal. This is Ken Smith. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He ended up with 17 points, 7 assists, and 1 steal. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Wow, the big cat giving him the business. He's still getting better, but he's one of the most versatile 7-footers the league has ever seen.
And now, folks, just moments away.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. You look at Anthony Davis in this game, he's been everywhere.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been 2 quarters, just a great effort for him for the entire half.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter where he is on the floor either, Greg. He's making it look very easy. He's looking to score the ball.
Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. Timberwolves leading by 11. And the Pelicans at last season's trade deadline making the big deal for DeMarcus Cousins.
You know, you look at Anthony Davis being paired with Cousins, and certainly on paper, you could make the argument that they've got the best 1-2 punch on the front line in the league. 2 Kentucky guys, great size and offensive skill in terms of their versatility. If they can surround them with shooters and some perimeter defense, I think this group could be scary.
And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Teague runs the point with Butler at his side. They're the backcourt. Gibson is the 4 with Towns in the middle. And it's Wiggins in at the 3. Shot's good by Gibson.
He is in the zone. There's a reason he keeps getting the ball. They're feeding him because they trust him to lead their team.
Holiday, the pass to Miller. Back to Holiday. That's in, coming off an assist from Miller. Holiday's got 5 points so far.
And you know, Holiday has a gorgeous touch from outside. He's a deadly shooter, an absolute laser when you give him space to fire.
Outside Gibson. Towns dishes to Butler. Second shot opportunity, and Towns finishes inside. Towns has got 19 points.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounding has certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
Here's Holiday, fouled in the act of shooting. A three-point play chance coming up.
Yeah, exceptional play there to take the bump and still get it to fall.
I like to call that stick-to-itiveness, Greg. Getting everything he possibly could out of that play. Nicely done.
Good call. And when you look at the Pelicans, you got to expect for them to be one of the top defensive teams in the league. You've got the Twin Towers down low, and Drew Holiday is in the top handful, I think, of defensive point guards in the league.
It's good on the putback.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Well, once they recognized the advantage they had inside, it made a lot of sense just to continue to attack that area.
And Cousins kicks to Clark. His three-pointers off the mark. Andrew Holiday at 6'4", great size for the point guard position.
And his height enables him to cover shooting guards. At the same time, he does a great job of keeping smaller players in front of him.
Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut down now to just 10 points with that basket from Miller. Timberwolves have gone an even 50% from the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. Towns, the pass to Teague. The shot comes out. Great D that time from Rondo.
This has been a rough, turbulent outing for him so far. Fortunately, the rest of his team has bailed him out. Obviously, I mean, it would go a long way if he's making his shots. Right now, they're behind, and they certainly could use his help.
And it's Gibson finishing it off.
And Kevin, plays like that are really the reason they've got a nice lead right now. Just a great job on the glass.
And Greg, the jam and the follow gets their whole bench jumping. Look at them. They are really into it.
Yeah, they sure are. And that's a little salt in the wound there. I mean, they take a miss and turn it into one of the plays of the game. That hurts.
Now a timeout called by New Orleans.
You know, the last few seasons, the Timberwolves assembled a terrific young core. Now they're ready, I think, to take that next step forward, adding veterans like Butler, Teague, and Gibson. I think they're ready to win right now.
Pelicans making a switch here. Allen's checked in. We take a second here to take a look at the shot chart for New Orleans.
It's pretty telling when you look at the shots they're missing from mid-range. Just not shooting a high enough percentage there, and it's hurting them. A lot of those misses have been heavily defended or with a high degree of difficulty. They need to take it inside, draw the contact, or get an easier look.
For the Wolves in their breakout season that everyone was waiting for, the pressure is felt by the team. It's just hard to pick out when a group of young players, Clark, is going to put it all together.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but that Western Conference about as stacked as it's ever been, Kevin. But you know what? I think the Wolves are primed and ready to be contenders.
Teague dishes to Towns. Towns is doubled. The kick out to Teague. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Shot from 16. Nice work on the board. He's paying off with the basket. Teague's got 6.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Yeah, rebounding has been a big key in this one, Greg. They've asserted their will and have taken control on the glass.
Moment here now for an injury report. And now let's check in with David Aldridge to see how Anthony Davis is doing. David.
Hey, Kevin, I chatted briefly with the head athletic trainer for New Orleans. Right now, he's saying it might be a severely sprained ankle, which is something every player hates to hear. Boy, losing a player like him right now, just a huge blow. They depend on this guy so much, Kevin.
All right, David, thanks for checking in and letting us know how he's doing.
And let's just hope that he doesn't have any setbacks during his recovery.
Yeah, I'm with you there, guys. One thing we know is that he's not going to let it get him down. I mean, it'll only motivate him to work harder to get back as soon as possible.
T kicks to Towns. Doesn't go that time. Nice D from Cousins. Pelicans trail by 12. Down low, Allen. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got his third assist on the night. For Minnesota, they've gone 7 for 16 in the second half from the field, shooting a bit under 50%. Butler, no good.
Well, you see the struggles he's having getting anything to go.
Yeah, I'm sure he's frustrated, Greg, because nothing is falling right now. But he's going to keep chipping away at it, and that's the attitude. Stay with it.
Miller, the pass to Cousins. Shoots over Towns, so the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. It's going to be on Andrew Wiggins.
And Cousins, with his physical style, always among the league leaders in free throws.
Greg, when you watch DeMarcus Cousins play, you can see the beating he takes in the post, can't you?
Yeah, and that's just how it goes with star centers, with the size and activity of Cousins. Just like Shaq in the sense, big bruising centers are hard to officiate. Other players can lay into them and not even make a dent, but anyone else, it would be a foul.
Timberwolves leading by 9. Teague dishes to Jang. Over Miller, tries again, and Jang gets it to go. Jang's got 10 points in the game.
And one of the stories of the second half has been all of those second chance points. I mean, they have been terrific on the offensive backboard. And checking out some numbers for Andrew Wiggins. Last year, getting it done. He averaged about 23 points per, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And he brings that offensive firepower to the team. Scoring just comes natural.
And, you know, defenses are throwing everything at him, yet he's still able to put up points. It's really unstoppable.
And you're going to take as many of those high percentage shots as you can get.
Teague up top, guarded by Holiday. The 3. They grab their own miss. Jang. Good D by Miller.
No one to blame on that one but himself. You get looks like that, you've got to take advantage.
The putback. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Wiggins has got 6 rebounds here tonight.
You know, Kevin, his team is struggling a bit right now. I mean, I hope he can find his rhythm and start making his shots out there soon. Otherwise, ...
Pelicans trail by 11. And Holiday kicks to Crawford. Here's the screen. Feeds it to Holiday. And it's out of bounds. And they say it was last touched by Towns.
And taking a look here at some numbers for Cousins. Great showing for him last season. 7th in scoring, 9th in rebounding. And he's a shot blocker as well. Top 20 in that category last season. Great timing and challenges at the rim.
And back to his points per game average last year, he literally propped up the team's offense whenever they needed it. Allen against Wiggins. Here's Towns. 23 points in the game. The pass to Muhammad. Wiggins outside. Good on the 3-point shot. Wiggins has got 14 points.
Well, I tell you what, how easy does Wiggins make the game look? I mean, in the flow, excellent stroke from distance. That's fun to watch.
Crawford, no one around him. Up again. Cousins on the follow.
A guy like him cannot be left alone around the hoop. If you do, it'll be buffet style all day long. Plenty of seconds right there.
And here's Jones. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Now the feed to Muhammad. Lays it up and banks it in. And the Timberwolves lead by 14.
Yeah, he's a powerful wing player, Kevin. Muhammad, I think, likes to operate in the painted area best.
Screen by Cousins. There's the pick. Crawford against Jones. Crawford passes to Cousins. Towns with the defensive effort. Timberwolves leading by 14. Muhammad dishes to Wiggins. Crawford outside. Passes it to Muhammad. Wiggins from outside. It falls for his 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
On the wing, Miller. Muhammad covering. Cousins with a screen on Wiggins. Nobody near Allen. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
And that's how you answer back.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, go right back at them. Show them you can shoot from outside all night long.
Towns at the elbow. In the corner, it's Crawford. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. And that's 10 points for Jamal Crawford.
Three-point shooting since the half has been about as good as you could ask for.
And now's the time for them to step on the gas pedal. Don't let up. Keep letting it fly from deep and build that lead. Play through the finish line, not to it. Keep the pressure on.
That one is good. He's only missed one shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
Miller kicks to Crawford. Moore outside. Cousins with a screen on Crawford. Moore passes to Cousins. And stolen by Wiggins. That's good from Crawford on the assist by Wiggins. Wiggins has got 3 assists tonight. All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Timberwolves.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
Yeah, but also, they haven't missed a beat in terms of their fast break game. That's been equally as effective all night long. And with great players, you've got to pick your poison. You'll live with Cousins shooting from mid-range.
Now Jones looking for his first basket still in this one. They set the pick. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Yeah, that was actually no defense at all there, Greg. I mean, layups don't come any easier than that. I mean, they're piling it on now.
Crawford left side. Timberwolves passing it around. And Muhammad gets it to go.
Excellent body control that time by Muhammad. He takes the hit and still able to complete and finish his move.
There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Count the basket. Allen's got 7 points in the game.
And he's showing signs now of life after going scoreless through the half.
Jones with it. Wiggins outside. It's Crawford on the wing. Good if it goes. No good on the buzzer beater. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Timberwolves ahead, opening up a huge gap. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the fourth quarter next. Let's take a listen now to Alvin Gentry.
Guys, we got to be more solid, okay? We got to be more solid defensively. Now we got to dig in, we got to guard, okay? And then we got to execute our offense.
A lot of things on that list, trying to refocus his troops moments ago, Coach Alvin Gentry.
Yeah, the energy's all right, but the execution definitely could be better with and without the basketball.
And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Darius Miller out there with DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Rajon Rondo. And there's Etuan Moore. And it's Clark in at the 2 spot. That's the Pelicans 5. Now here's Jones. Crawford outside. And Muhammad has it in the corner. Buries the long-range jumper. Muhammad's got 9 points here in the second half.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Cousins with a screen for Rondo. And Gibson sends it down.
And Gibson just out here to play hard defense, showing great awareness coming. Oh, wow.
That's a beautiful jam.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, he is a highlight reel unto himself, guys.
That could be a contender for the dunk of the year, I think.
Without question, a crowd pleaser to the 10th degree.
There's a good screen. Clark dishes to Miller. His 3-pointers off the mark. Minnesota leading by 23. Fourth quarter now. We're about a minute and a half in. Here's Jones. Gibson the screen. The dish to Muhammad. Just 5 on the clock. Fires from 14. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. And now it's 27 points for Karl Anthony Towns. More up top. Muhammad covering. And Moore kicks to Cousins. And he gets it to go.
You know, even though he's been on, they still are behind. I mean, there's only so much he can do.
And here's Jones. Clark, when we talk about the importance of what a player can do, how important is it for a player to know what they cannot do?
Very important. Understanding who you are and what your skill set is and how that fits with your team, critically important. Not only knowing it, but then embracing your role within your particular limitations, skill set, and teamwork.
New Orleans making some changes here. Omer Ashe, he's checked in for Cousins. Cunningham comes in for Darius Miller. And it's Hill in for Ian Clark. And then for Minnesota, Cole Aldrich. He's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Zhang comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Bielitsa in for Jamal Crawford. Rondo against Jones. He feeds it to Muhammad. Out to the right wing. Aldrich. That's short off the rim. The Pelicans have gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. Rondo passes to Hill. And again, no good by New Orleans. Timberwolves leading by 23. Now Jones. Pass to Bielitsa. Muhammad on the wing. Zhang dishes to Aldrich, using his post moves to get the 2 points.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And the basket by Hill.
Oh, such a field shot there, the floater.
For Minnesota, they've gone an outstanding 4 of 5 from the field in the fourth quarter so far. Jones with it. Kicks it to Zhang. Pass to Bielitsa. Puts up a 3. It's rebounded by New Orleans. Takes the 13-footer. Again, missing Hill.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right, they're happy with that shot.
And Bielitsa has it in the corner. 6 to shoot. And Muhammad kicks to Aldrich. And no good, trying to use the glass. For New Orleans, they've gone 3 of 8 here in the fourth quarter. Muhammad with the steal. Here's Bielitsa. And Jones has it in the corner. And Clark, we know that players are evaluated in a historical perspective, largely by how many rings they have. Do you think that's a fair way to evaluate things?
I don't think you can solely evaluate an individual player in a team sport by the number of rings he's been able to win. Clearly, it can be part of the criteria, especially if you're talking about great players who have had similar careers. It can be a differentiator. But to me, it doesn't necessarily carry the weight that some people like to give it in evaluating players. individual performance over time is what, to me, marks the hallmark of a player worthy of Hall of Fame consideration or being talked about being one of the greats in the game.
That's good for Moore. Some changes for New Orleans. DeMarcus Cousins is checked in for Ashe. Miller comes in for Dante Cunningham. And it's Holiday in for Hill. And the New Orleans Pelicans last season with one of the worst offensive rebounding percentages in history.
Yeah, I mean, it improved somewhat with DeMarcus Cousins coming in. But I think really it's the team's philosophy, though. They value getting back in transition more than they value a chance to attack that offensive glass.
And, you know, we can't measure Hart. I mean, he's not as big as the other power forwards, but his jumping ability and mindset is incredible.
Outside Holiday. Miller sets a screen for Holiday. It's Miller on the wing. For the three, it's good. The assist that time from Holiday. Holiday's got his 4th assist in this one.
Always got to patrol the three-point line. When you don't, you suffer the consequences.
Now here's Teague. He dishes it to Towns. Butler, a screen on Cousins. Here's Towns, 13 feet away. No good, shot missing. Good D by Miller. Moore against Wiggins. Here's Miller, dishes it to Cousins. Great D that time from Gibson. Minnesota leading by 20. Butler kicks to Gibson. Outside Teague. And league expansion is something that simply won't leave the conversation in the NBA right now, Clark. Do you think that the NBA adding another team or two is inevitable?
I don't think it's inevitable. As a matter of fact, I think we're at a good number where we are, Kevin. It's still the best league in the world, and I think you could dilute that a bit if you added teams. So I'm fine with where we are.
Here's Gibson, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
Yeah, the vision of Towns, sees the whole floor, finds an unguarded teammate there.
Outside Holiday. Miller with a screen on Butler. And the rejection by Towns. And here is Teague. Towns the screen. Towns is doubled. And that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Teague's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing. Outside Rondo. Cousins with a screen for Rondo. And Holiday has it in the corner. Keeps it alive. Cousins on the follow. Cousins has got 7 points for the quarter. The Timberwolves have got a pretty good rhythm going offensively, shooting 8 of 15 for the quarter. Now Teague. He kicks it to Towns. Towns is doubled. Gibson in the post. He's against Miller. Here's Towns. Cousins pulls it in. New Orleans has gone 2 of 5 on three-point shots since the end of the third quarter. Holiday against Butler. Here's Miller. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, outstanding job there of taking the harm and still able to finish.
Yeah, he imposed his will on the defense that time. He was not going to be denied right there.
Catching up on the changes for New Orleans. Alexis Ajinça comes in for E'Twaun Moore. And Ian Clark subbed in for Rajon Rondo. Teague the pass to Gibson. There's the pick. Wiggins kicks to Teague. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Kicks it out to Gibson. Over Ajinça. No good from Gibson.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position. You could see the frustration on his face.
Now, here's Ajinça, defended by Gibson. A shot by Holiday. Nobody around. No good on the triple. Minnesota leading by 21. And Gibson, here we go. Teague dishes to Butler. And the NBA has a concerted effort to lower the amount of back-to-back games for the players. Clark, should they stretch out the season even further?
No, the ideal solution, Kevin, would be to reduce the number of games, to cut a month off the season. That would be the way to get to where we need to get to. The season should be 66 to 70 games. It should be spaced out over a 6-month period. And if you cut 12 to 16 games, then you would be able to actually get fewer number of back-to-backs. Stretching the season out longer, to me, is not the answer. Reducing the number of games would be the best way to get to the solution. But that toothpaste is out of the tube, and I don't know if we can ever get it back in.
Agreed. And Gibson kicks to Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
Just churning that butter up, man, all night. Towns making a fool out of anybody trying to get in his way. Go to work, big fella.
Cousins with a screen for Miller. Towns comes with a double team. Holiday with the three. That's good, and it's Miller with the assist. Miller's got his 3rd assist on the night.
And this is what they wanted. I mean, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority, very decisive. It can definitely be considered a statement win for the Timberwolves.
And as we watch the game wind down, you have to look back at all the second chance points these guys generated.
Yeah, they clearly won the second chance points category. Possession after possession, we watched them go after the ball and make misses turn into makes.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And Greg, we know familiarity breeds contempt. I would expect things to become more heated as these teams face each other going forward.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, it was nice seeing him do his thing on offense, wasn't it? Turned it up a notch and flat out pulverized the defense.
Tremendous effort here on the road. That plane ride home is going to be sweet.
No doubt about it, partner, but unfortunately, the flip side of that coin, the drive home for the hometown fans, is going to be rather flat.
Wiggins passes to Teague. Feeds it to Gibson. Wiggins outside from deep, and another 3 for Minnesota.
And how much longer are they going to keep that foot on the accelerator?
As long as required, Greg. I mean, you can tell they want to put this thing to bed.
So it's Minnesota winning this one easily. A resounding victory for them. And Greg, in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done.